Have you been successful with dieting until you weren't? Watch this video and I'll show you how to stop yo-yo dieting and stay lean for good. Hi, it's Ivana. If you're new, please subscribe and hit that bell. If you want to lose weight, you've probably tried a lot of different diets and things have gone well for a little while. And then they just don't anymore because you can't sustain that particular diet. I've been up and down and up and down and up and down with my weight, and I've worked with a lot of clients in the past 20 years to help them overcome their yo-yo dieting so that they can have sustainable weight loss. And that's what I want to do for you today. I'm going to go through the process of ending yo-yo dieting. And don't forget to watch to the end because I'm going to share my one special tip that really enables me to stay lean year-round. So if you're ready to get off that diet train, hit that like button and let's begin. Number one is change your terminology. There are a lot of words that have negative connotations, whether we like it or not. So the word diet is not particularly appealing to most people. They tend to have a negative view of that. And I tend to not use it when I'm speaking with my clients about what they're eating. So the term that I like is nutrition plan. So I mean, it's the same kind of thing, and technically speaking, it means the same thing, but diet just sounds so horrible, doesn't it? And changing your terminology can make a big difference to how you perceive the process of weight loss. So it's important to use the words that actually make sense for you. The other one that I prefer, a lot of people use junk food. And I'm not a huge fan of that, although occasionally it slips out still because it is so common. I like to call them treat foods. So a treat or a treat food is a really positive thing. You want something that makes you feel good, something that you really enjoy. It's a treat. It's not a bad thing, it's a treat. So it's not junk food, it's a treat food. And the last one that I think is quite important is cheat. A lot of people have used this cheat meal system. I used it for a while myself when I was going through a clean eating phase and when I was following that particular system. But I find that that's actually not that helpful. Most people will say, oh, this is a cheat meal, and then it has a really negative connotation to it because you don't cheat on a test, you don't want to cheat on your spouse, you don't want to cheat, right? It's a bad thing. So anything that encourages a negative relationship with food is something that you want to avoid. So let's talk nutrition plan, let's talk about treat foods, and let's just talk about treating ourselves because those are all positive things. Change your terminology, and that's a key part of weight loss and getting off that yo-yo dieting cycle. The next one is change your mindset. So we've already tried to take away the idea of diet. And that means also the concept of going on and off a diet. So what you're taking in on a regular basis, the type of food, the amount of food, that is your nutrition plan, or that's just your nutrition. That's what you're eating. And you don't want to think of that as something that you go on, that you start and that you stop. It's not a fixed time. Everything that you eat, whether it's this week, next month, during Christmas holidays, when you go on vacation, all those things count. Those are things that you're eating. You don't want it to be a short, fixed time. You want to think of everything you eat as a balanced, whole piece of your life puzzle. So it's not something that you go on and go off. Just think of every little bit making a difference. And that's actually more positive because you know that you can make a change with the next meal. You don't have to wait until Monday to start that diet. All you have to do is eat a little better with your next meal, eat a little less with your next meal. And that's all it takes to get you moving in the right direction. And that should make you feel positive about progress. And then you're no longer on that diet mentality. Number three, don't rely on exercise. As much as I totally believe in exercise and I think it is an important part of being fit and healthy and feeling good and developing a great shape and just feeling awesome, it's really not the key to weight loss. You need to focus more of your efforts on nutrition because in terms of the calories that you can actually expend through exercise, they're quite limited. And you need to make sure that you're paying close attention to what you're taking in calorie-wise instead. This is going to make a much bigger difference. People often say it's 80% diet and then 20% exercise. In some cases, it can be 90% diet and 10% exercise. If you don't have a lot of time to exercise, then you really need to focus on that. If you're a very busy person, nutrition is always the side that you should focus on. And a lot of times what will happen too, if people can't exercise for some reason, they decide that they're just going to ditch their whole nutrition plan and they're not going to do that anymore, and then it actually becomes worse. So in order to stop yo-yo dieting, you need to not rely on exercise. You need to focus on the nutrition side. Number 4, appreciate your food. Food is delicious and tasty and wonderful. It's a part of the social fabric of our existence. We eat alone, we eat with others, and hopefully we appreciate all that we have when it comes to food. It's really important to have a positive relationship with food, and part of that comes from not seeing food as the enemy. Food is not the enemy. We need it for energy, we need it to feel strong, we need it to feel good, but you also need to realize which foods are going to do that for you and which are not. I've created an entire video about mindful eating. I'm going to link it up at the bottom. I'm also going to add it at the end of this video, so you can have a look at that. It's all about appreciating food, the smells, the tastes, all those things that are part of food. Remember that food is an important part of life. A lot of stuff revolves around food. So food cannot be the enemy. Food is a partner in a positive relationship. So try to think of it that way and you'll be able to end the dieting process. And number 5 is to create helpful if-then statements. This is a very powerful way of building habits that are positive and breaking bad habits. So you're looking at a situation and you're creating a related if-then statement that's going to be helpful for you. So if I'm coming back from the gym late, then I'm just going to have a protein shake before I go to bed. If I don't have time to prepare food, then I'll go to, let's say, a grocery store or a place that you know where there's an appropriate meal that you have prepared. If I'm not feeling like working out, then I'm going to adjust my calorie intake accordingly so that it makes sense and that I don't get off track. So make these very personal for yourself, something that can help you get through bad habits that you have and can help you establish positive habits. If you have these things, you don't have to worry, you don't have to think about extra things. You've got structure. If it's Tuesday night, then I go to the gym and do weights for 45 minutes. If it's Friday night and I'm going out with friends, I'm going to skip the bread, but I'm going to have a small dessert. Those positive if-then statements can really help you overcome limitations to weight loss, and they can prepare you for a positive lifestyle that makes sense. The next one is get support. Everybody is fine at the beginning when they change their lifestyles, when they start exercising. Think about the beginning of the year, for instance. Everybody's so gung-ho, the gyms are packed, everybody's having a salad instead of fries. It's all these things that people are okay with at the start of the process. And then somewhere along the line, something comes up and all of a sudden you can't follow that anymore. And that's when you need help from others. That's really when it counts. When you hit an obstacle, you need someone to help you through. So this is one of the things that I do for my clients, one of the key things. I mean, the information for nutrition and fitness, it's out there and it's actually not that hard to get. But having someone to support you through that process, that is really key, because you will be committed for a certain period of time and then you won't. And that's just the way it goes. Life is up and down and up and all around, and you're going to face challenges and you're going to need someone to help you overcome those challenges, and you're going to have to figure out a way of managing your lifestyle and still being able to follow whatever nutrition plan you have for yourself. So make sure that you've got either like a support buddy or a professional coach like myself who can help you along the way, because getting support will really help you stay consistent. And my final tip, this is the one, the super secret one that actually gets me now after all these years, it lets me stay lean year round. And that is, don't restrict yourself. And that means giving up fad diets, going on and off diets, things we talked about earlier in the video. It just means that you don't keep yourself from something that's really, in terms of food, something that's really important. So I love chocolate, but I have gone through phases where I have given up chocolate and just said, I'm just not gonna have it ever anymore. I'm never gonna have chocolate. Like that's, I think about it now, it just sounds so ridiculous to me because obviously I'm gonna have chocolate. Now I have it almost every day. And not as large quantities, but I have it almost every day. The thing is, your brain starts to focus on those things that you tell yourself you can't have. So if I tell you, don't think about an elephant, what are you thinking about? Probably an elephant right now, right? So people over time, if they're following a very restrictive diet, then they develop an obsession with certain foods, the ones that they're missing out on. If you really love fries and you're not allowing yourself to have those once in a while, then you're gonna feel miserable and you're gonna be focused more on those fries than you would be otherwise. What's happened for me now is that when I allow myself more treats, say it's my birthday or it's a special occasion, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have whatever I want now. And all of a sudden I'm almost at a loss because I kind of allow myself to have whatever I want on a regular basis anyway, so it's not really a big deal for me anymore. Whereas before, I would be like, oh, no chocolate for like 2 months and that kind of thing. So as soon as I got to that point, I would just eat all the chocolate that was available everywhere and just go out and get more, and that would be it. So restricting yourself actually makes things worse. Don't restrict yourself. Please remember that what really matters when it comes to weight loss success is sustainability. And that means how well you can stick to whatever nutrition plan you make for yourself. Please let me know in the comments what type of nutrition plan that you're currently following and whether it works for you and you think you can keep it up. It's okay if it's a fad type diet like keto or something like that. It's totally fine as long as you really enjoy fat and you know that you can sustain yourself on that particular plan. That's totally fine. More power to you. It wouldn't work for me. I need to have my chocolate and I need to have my carbs, and that's my particular choice. But there are so many different ways of losing weight. There are so many different ways that you can eat and still be lean and strong and healthy. So don't feel that you're restricted by that. You don't have to follow any particular plan as long as it works for you and it's sustainable. I'd really love to help you on your weight loss journey, so head over to my website, ivanachapman.com, where you can pick up a copy of a free ebook just for joining my email list. And if you enjoy this video, please give me a like. Also make sure that you're subscribed and hit that bell to be notified, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon.